May I ask you how you've been? Would I have the words to say? I've forgotten how to feel, how to call you by your name. Barely recognize you now. All your words have turned to stone. You've forgotten all my songs. You've forgotten all my love. Don't you know you make me nervous still? You pull my thoughts apart.
Hola my beautiful lotus flowers, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're interested now on everything astrology, spirituality, and self-transformation, this is a community for you. I know it's been like 3 months since I last uploaded a video. It has been a long time, and I kept overthinking the video that I would want to come back with. I feel like in the time that I've been gone, I have gone through like a million rebirths, and I just feel like myself, but different. And one of the things that was a theme during that time for me, during those months that I was gone, was coming back to myself and not overthinking everything I do. Because one of the reasons that I tend to overthink personally, and some of you may relate to this, is because I care too much about what other people are thinking, how they're gonna feel, etc. And to a certain extent, that is not a bad quality to have, but it becomes more negatively channeled when you constantly give yourself anxiety, stress, and the biggest thing of all is when you constantly breach your own boundaries because of this need to make others happy or please everybody, and so on and so forth. So I said, stop overthinking. You are going to come back, and you're going to come back as you are, as a representation of the theme of my break from YouTube. My hair is not perfect. As you can see, it is red again, but it's a different type of red, and I am loving being a redhead again. Like, my hair is red. I wanted to come back with it looking all like perfect and everything, but it's on its like third or fourth dirty day, and it doesn't look perfect right now, but oh well. My skin doesn't look perfect right now because that time of the month, and I broke out a little bit. Oh well. I am not in the fanciest, nicest top. Oh well. My intro wasn't perfect. I wanted to change it up because I'm drinking some green tea and everything, and my head hurts a little bit, and oh well, I'm here, imperfectly perfect, if you will. That is pretty much my introduction to this video, and if you're looking for a very educational, informative astrology video, this is not going to be the one. I'm going to be answering some questions that I got on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, be sure that you go follow me at Marisa LaBlue, because that is where I upload a lot of updates while I'm gone, and it's where I interact with you guys, and you guys can leave me questions, you can message me, etc. Since the last time you saw me, we are now at 30,000 subscribers, which is phew. I'm so grateful, so thankful. I don't know. As you can see, I'm like speechless. I don't know. I have processed it, but it is still, and probably will forever be, surreal. A surreal feeling, to be totally honest. I can sit here and try to explain to you how I feel about reaching 30,000, but I think it's impossible. Just know that I am so beyond grateful, and I do not take every single one of you for granted. I don't whatsoever. If you're not into hearing me ramble through this video and you're not interested in that, then this is not the video for you. I will also be talking about a subscription box that I received called FabFitFun. Thank you to FabFitFun for sending me this box and asking me to share my thoughts and everything. I have been enjoying this box. During my break away from YouTube. I really focused a lot on self-care, and this box was like the perfect thing to help me get back in touch with my self-care routine and making sure that I get back to the things that I enjoy. So I will take a moment in the video to talk about those products. I'm actually wearing some of the slippers I got right now. I've been using the heck out of these, and then in case I got cold, I have my little poncho that I got in the box back here too. Anyways, so let's go ahead and get into some of the questions. Okay, so I think the most appropriate question to start with is life update. Did you get a new roommate or move recently? I briefly remember your crazy roommate. So if you guys followed me for a while, then you know that I came from a crazy living situation. Me and my partner at the time were living with third roommate. That was just, it turned into a really ugly situation, and it was causing a lot of stress. It was disrupting my productivity, my mental well-being, and it was a pretty rough time frame. And after that apartment, me and my partner at the time moved into where I'm currently living. It's kind of complicated, and this situation might sound a little odd to some of you, but life is odd. Life is very odd and full of unexpected things. But me and my now ex-partner, who were living in the previous apartment together with a third roommate, we separated before moving into this condo. Unfortunately, we had already signed a lease and everything, and so we were obligated to move into this space together, even though we had separated prior to coming into this space, and neither of us have the finances or the means to not move into this space together. But we did get a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo, and the plan had been to still live basically as roommates, even though we were romantically involved, because I just wasn't ready to live exclusively with a partner. And also, I think if you can, I think it's actually always a good thing to be able to have your own bedrooms and your own spaces, but that's just my personal opinion. So we have a 2-bed, 2-bath condo, so we have our own living spaces and everything. We obviously share the common areas. So that's my current situation. When we first started living here, we were still on good terms. We always valued our friendship very much, and we were trying very hard to try and keep that connection intact. Unfortunately, very recently, we kind of had a falling out because we just couldn't reach an agreement on something, unfortunately, and it was something quite important. So we are pretty much just trying to live out the rest of the lease as respectful roommates, and that is all that I can really say on that, because that's obviously very private. But that is the living situation that I'm in right now. And so I'm carrying you guys through another kind of oddball living situation. So, you know, we'll see where it goes, and all we can do is just take it day by day. You know, just trying to take it day by day. The next question is, how have you been? So that perfectly ties into the life update. But I have been extremely up and down. The past few months that I haven't been on YouTube have been extremely transformational internally. Not a lot has changed externally in my life, but internally, oh my goodness, it feels like I said at the beginning of this video, I've had 100 rebirths during the last few months. I feel like at the core, I'm still me, but I feel like a completely different person in the way that I want to carry myself, in the things that I want to do, and the content that I want to create. I obviously still want to do astrology content, but I do want to tie more of my transformation, self-development type content into it more so. I was kind of afraid to do that before because I had this fear hovering over me of being lost in the algorithm, of people no longer wanting to follow me. And those are all fears that Whereas they may surface again, they may not be completely gone. They are things that I worked through during those months that I was gone. It was one of the things that I helped detach myself from because I was very much too invested in those fears. And I didn't realize how invested in those fears I had become, but it was unhealthy. So I've been up and down. I've had a lot of emotional roller coaster moments during these past few months, but overall I am good. I feel a sense of peace and a sense of a weight that has been lifted, a weight I've been carrying for a long time. And sometimes that doesn't automatically feel good, and sometimes it feels good some days and some days it doesn't. But going through different cycles ending, certain connections ending, entering into new cycles, entering into a new chapter, it's always bittersweet. And life is full of new chapters, ending chapters and starting new ones. And I think it's always bittersweet. So overall, I'm good. I'm grateful. I'm healthy. I am, for the most part, at peace. The next question is, favorite astrologer? This is a really great question. So first off, I want to preface this by saying that I try not to consume too much of other astrology content. On Instagram, I consume the most because I like to see the memes. I like to stay updated even when I'm not staying super updated on astrology. And you might wonder, like, well, you're an astrologer. Why wouldn't you always be updated on astrology? I will get into that in an upcoming video. So stay tuned, turn on the bell if you haven't already, and while you're at it, you should subscribe if you haven't already. But if you want to see why I have to step away from astrology sometimes, then you'll see it in a future video. Anywho, but as far as consuming like other astrologers on YouTube, I try not to so much because one, I don't want to be influenced by their content. I don't want to lose my creativity because I'm getting influenced by what they're releasing. Two, it honestly doesn't do me much good because it usually ends up making me feel bad about myself. And it makes me feel like, you know, there's probably people that watch me that think I am just so like knowledgeable and I hold myself so well and wow, I just know so much. And whereas that may be true, we are our own worst critic, as we all know. And so I can be a little too harsh on myself after I watch other astrologers because I'll think, why don't I like think of that? Or why don't, you know, like, wow, they're so much better than me. I have so far to go. And sometimes I can start kind of degrading myself in that sense. So, but if there is any astrologer that I watch like the most or I listen to the most and have taken their videos into account the most, then it is I think his name now is Esoteric Sky or Esoteric Healing. I forgot if he changed. One of those names used to be his old name and one of those names are his new name, but I'll have his channel linked down below because he by far, from what I've discovered, is the most intuitive astrologer. He's very, very good about intertwining the science of astrology with his intuition, and he is pretty much always on point for me. He is, I learned so much through him. I really do. And he is, if he ever sees this, if anyone tells him, he is the chef's kiss of astrologers, and I commend him for everything he does. He is incredible. Now let's talk a bit about the FabFitFun box and what it is, because this box has been a literal godsend during these months that I've had off from YouTube, getting back in touch with myself. It was the perfect self-care box, and so I just want to talk about it a little bit with you guys. If you don't know what it is, it's actually a customizable seasonal box with full-size beauty, fashion, fitness, and home products set once per season. So you get a box for summertime, wintertime, autumn, spring, etc. So it's sent 4 times per year, and one product in the box could literally be worth more than what you pay for the entire box. The winter box that I received actually has a value of over $300, which is mind-blowing. And it's crazy because they are full-size products. Like, what? But what's even better is it's actually $49.99 for your first box using my code, and those details will be down in the description box if you are interested. My personal favorites have been these slippers from Chinese Laundry that I got in my box. They're so cozy. You can see how worn in they are. So I am definitely not lying to you guys. I've been using the heck out of these things. My other favorite has been this poncho because it is so soft, it's so cozy, and it's so big. Like, the hood is so big and cozy, and it covers my whole entire face and head. And then it's so, like, it's also light, it's not uncomfortable, and it's so perfect for when you just want to like cuddle up and watch something. And it gets cold at night here. It gets really cold. I don't know where you guys are, but it gets so cold, and it has been the perfect thing to snuggle up with. So those have been my favorite. Then we have a third runner-up for my top two favorites, but this is my third favorite item. It is the Sonage mini ice globes, and I love rubbing ice on my face in the morning or having something cold on my face. My face tends to be very flushed and pink and very hot. I have like a very hot face. I don't mean it like that. I mean, like, temperature wise, my face gets really, really hot. It's weird. So I've been wanting something like this, but I didn't know I needed something like this. I just knew that it's really annoying to rub ice cubes on my face every morning. So these are actually little ice globes. Oop. These are little ice globes that you put in the fridge. And you leave them in there. They get really nice and cold, and then you can rub them on your face and then put them back into the fridge. And they are so cute on top of that. Like, what the heck? Thank you once again to FabFitFun for partnering with me on this video and for sending me a beautiful self-care box. Again, if you guys want to get your first box for only $49.99, you can head down to the description box and find my link where you can use my code MARISAL. Again, you'll only get your first box for $49.99. That is amazing for a box that is valued at over $300. That is just incredible. So thank you again, FabFitFun, and I hope you guys try it out and enjoy your box. The next question is feelings on Magick. So I don't post a lot of like Magick related stuff on my YouTube or my timeline. I do have, you know, Magick ties into like spiritual practices, so I do have a little bit of that in some of my spiritual videos. But overall, this is a very vague question, so I'm just gonna give you what I think we're looking for here with the answer. But I think Magick can be extremely beneficial because think about our like self-care routines. So we have these certain self-care rituals, if you will. We have skincare rituals or bath rituals or shower rituals that make us feel good, make us feel better, and every time you do one of those rituals for yourself, you undoubtedly feel more energized or more at peace or at rest, whatever your goal was from doing that ritual. And to me, I kind of see Magick as like the same thing. It's typically using like the natural elements to gain a certain feeling or a certain outcome. And I think that Magick alone is not the only thing that is creating an outcome or an emotion. I think that's Magick intertwined with your daily actions, etc. I think it all ties in together, but I do think Magick can be a very beneficial aspect of that. And I myself have definitely wanted to get more into like herbal remedies and herbal magic, but astrology itself is a huge subject to study. And having a part-time job and doing YouTube and social media and then studying astrology still, I haven't really incorporated that into my routine. But for any of you that do practice Magick, I think it's a beautiful thing. However, I do think that you can also feed a lot of negative energy into your life by using magic the wrong way. I do not think it's something to be taken lightly, because I am somebody who does believe that our words, our actions, our thoughts very much help to create our reality, and magic enhances that. So what we do on a daily basis without magic, our thoughts, actions, and words, those are all magic in and of themselves. Does that make sense? So when you do magic, it's like enhancing your words, actions, and thoughts. So if you're using it in a negative light or from a negative space internally, and you're not in a good mental space and whatnot, then I think it can be kind of dangerous, and it is something to not just be taken lightly. We can take a lot of things very lightly because social media makes a lot of things lighthearted, and even though that's fun, just remember that there is a seriousness behind it. The next question is, were you raised in a religious household? Kind of, semi. So my father he believes that there is something higher than all of us, but he's not very spiritual, and he doesn't necessarily label what he believes in. My mother was would consider herself a devout Roman Catholic, and I was raised to be a devout Roman Catholic. Like, I went through the First Communion, the confirmation, all of those, coming of age ceremonies that Catholics do. And I went to Sunday school and everything, but it wasn't really something that was like an everyday practice in my actual household. We didn't pray, we didn't go to church every Sunday and stuff. It was more, I don't know. So I kind of like never had a strong connection to it, other than it's part of like my culture, because my mother is Mexican, and so it's kind of part of the culture more than anything to be Roman Catholic. So that's kind of how I viewed it, but I myself didn't connect to the religion. I always felt more connected to esoteric things such as astrology. I was always, once I found out about being a Pisces, oh my God, like, you can go back to like one of my other Twitter accounts, one of my original Twitter accounts, because I made so many new accounts when I was in like high school and everything, and I would reshare so many tweets about being a Pisces. Like, I was so proud, but I didn't really know that those things were like necessarily spiritual as well at that time. And it wasn't until I was in a 3.5-year relationship with somebody who was a devout Christian that I really realized the disconnect I have from Christianity as a whole. And I didn't necessarily believe in following the Bible and everything. That just didn't resonate with me. And through that relationship, where that partner at the time, he looked down on esoteric practices because they are believed to be satanic by Christians. So I didn't pursue those things. And then it wasn't until I was out of that relationship that I started pursuing those things. So me being raised in a religious household, sorta, it did affect me pursuing things like astrology though, because there was always a disconnect from how I was raised and those practices. And I was always under the impression that something wasn't right about things like astrology, or they were not actually true or not credible. That ties us really well into the next question, which is what got you into astrology. So after I got out of that relationship with the devout Christian who didn't really like the idea of astrology and whatnot, I decided I wanted to start looking more into astrology. And I found out about my moon sign. And when I found out about my moon sign, I was like, whoa, this is so spot on. Like, I cannot deny this. This is so cool. Like, and then I just was hungry for more. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. If any of you guys watching this are into astrology, which if you're watching me, you probably are, comment down below how you got into astrology, because I really want to know, because I feel like everybody has their own story, and for a lot of us it was discovering the big three, being mind blown, and then searching for the rest of our birth chart, because that's definitely what it was for me. And ever since then, the rest is history. Like, I went into a deep dive into astrology and I just loved it so much. In honor of being authentic, like I was talking about in this video, and not overthinking all the content I release, it is extremely authentic of me filming from this angle right now instead of back at my desk, because my room is an absolute disaster now from trying to showcase all my FabFitFun goodies to you guys. So I don't feel like putting it back together just so I can sit down and give you guys a pretty outro. So I thought you guys might appreciate this as well. And I thank you so much for watching this. I promise the content is returning. I actually have a really cool end of the year video for you guys coming up. I can't wait for you all to see it. And again, be sure you hit the bell so you are keeping up to date to when I post, because I will be posting also a video about why I have to step away from astrology sometimes. And I think that'll be an interesting video for you guys to watch as well. Thank you so much again for being here. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. Thank you all 30,000 of you. 30,000, but if you haven't already, be sure that you like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and comment down below any of your thoughts that you had during this video. I love connecting with you guys, so please share your thoughts with me. And until next time, stay beautiful. Adios.